Hello everyone, and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is the day in the month that everybody is waiting for. It is August the 31st, 2025, and it is our slideshow day. So welcome. I hope you enjoy the slideshow, which we will get to in a few minutes. Um, I'm going to start first of all by talking about what I am wearing. I pulled this off the rack out there, and I used a gradient cake, something I bought in the US quite a while ago. It was quite, I bought two, a different color and this one. It was quite fun to work with these, not that I'm a lime green person. And it gets bigger as it goes, and it has these dragon's teeth, you might say, at the bottom, and goes out to this color. So I really enjoyed working with it. The pattern is called Rainbow Days Shawl, and it is a pattern by Rachel Nguyen, and I will link it in the description box below. And it was found on Ravelry. I think, I have a whip that is a pattern by Rachel that I really, really love, and I really want to get to it. It's not a whip. In my book, it's a UFO. And it's one I've been meaning to pull out for the last 2 summers and get busy at. And somehow I just never seem to get around to it, but I will soon. So let's see if I can figure out how to get this back on and cover up the green as much as possible. It's not really my kind of color. And there. And of course we got the tag on it there. I must take it with me in the fall. See about selling it. There we go. That works good. So that's what I'm wearing. Now, as I said, today is our slideshow, and we have a number of we had a couple of brand new participants this week, and we have other new people watching the channel. So I thought from a comment that I got last week that maybe it's time to kind of go over how it works or the rules one more time. We do this make-along every month. At the beginning of the month, I show a picture of a butterfly. And from that butterfly, you take the colors that you will use for the object you are going to make. It has to be the colors of the butterfly and not a dozen other colors. What can you make? And this was a question that came up. You can make anything, and you don't have to crochet. You can knit, you can weave, you can tat, you can dye the yarn, anything at all that uses yarn in the yarn arts, felting, whatever, you are free to make. I always give a deadline date. By that deadline, you have to send me a picture of your finished object. The item must be made during that month. You can't go back in your stash. Like, I have a stash out there. I could go find something for almost any butterfly we put up. No, you have to make it in that month. Then at the end of the month, by the deadline date, you send me a picture. My email address is always in the description box below. When you send me the email, of course, I need your name and where you are from. That's getting more and more important because we're getting multiple people with the same names. So you need to tell me your name, where you're from. If you used a pattern, please tell us the pattern name and the designer. If you use a tutorial, that's fine too, but a pattern name and the designer is very, very helpful because people see things they really like in the slideshow and they want to make one of them. So they need to know who did it, what the pattern name is to go looking for it. I've seen a couple I want to make and I make note of the names. So I think that covers everything. We're doing a different butterfly every month and I will show it before the end of this video. We're going to do something totally different next year, but I'm not going to tell you until the very end of the year what's coming next year. But anyway, those are the rules, and if you're not sure of anything, if you have a question, then please feel free to email me and ask. Oh, and by the way, you are allowed certainly to double dip. You can make something for me that you show in some other make along. For example, I think I had a couple people do an item for me that they are also going to submit to Cathy for her monthly make along. In fact, we had 1 or 2 people who submitted something for this Mal who are also using it for the crochet along I am doing with Cathy. So they'll be sending her a picture in a short few days as well. And that's quite all right. I understand lives are busy and you don't always have enough time to make something for everybody, but you do want to participate, and I understand that. I've done that once or twice myself. So first of all, I want to show you what I made. I made a scarf. If you remember, I had those 3 skeins of variegated, I guess you would call it, yarn from Malabrigo. It was the silky, something silky, and it was silky, and it is very long. I didn't actually measure it, but I put it on the blocking boards because I wanted to pull out the lace. I wish I'd blocked it a little more aggressively this way, and it wouldn't have gotten quite so long. But because of the blocking boards I use, I know they're each a foot long. I have to think this is really, really close to 9 feet long. It's a long one. I'll put a picture up here showing you where I folded it in half and, you know, went through like this. I did that on the mannequin and it show it there. The name of the pattern is Wavy Shawl. It was a very easy, I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4 row repeat. 4 row repeat. It's all chains and double crochets, so really easy. Worked up fairly quickly, given how long it was. And Wavy Shawl by Marjolaine Flick. And again, I got it on Ravelry. So that's what I made with my multicolored yarn from Malabrigo. So that's what I made. So I'll put that back here for now, I think. And we'll get started on the slideshow. So we'll start with Cathy W. from Ontario. She made 2 items. She first made a hat, and it is the flower petal cap by Brienne from Hooked Homemade Happiness. Sorry. And she also made a scarf, and it's called the Urban Shell Scarf, and that's a pattern by Catherine Crombie. Next we have Vicki C., who lives in California, and she made some more squares. She does this monthly, and the squares are from the Better Homes and Garden book, Crochet and Knitting. You can see the book there, and the squares are on the cover. Next, we have Bonnie S. from Pennsylvania, and she made this Celtic heart poncho, and it's a pattern by Jennifer E. Ryan. Then Raylene from South Australia has made this infinity scarf, and she told me it was made with the extended single crochet, so I have to guess it wasn't a pattern. It was just a scarf made with that stitch. Then Kayla from Iowa did this short row hat. It's called the Deidre hat, and she left it open so it would be a messy bun hat. I don't know if we've had a messy bun hat before. And the pattern is by Hand Jan Crochet. Adam from the UK made a blanket using the pattern for our summer cowl, the Honey Ripple Scarf. Lori in Indiana did a Zen stitch cowl. This is the CJ Brady pattern, and she just had a lot of yarn and used it all up, so made it very, very long. Oh no, she had minis. She had a set of minis, and she wanted to use them all, so she just kept going until she ran out and made it very long. CJ Brady pattern. Then we have Melissa, also from Pennsylvania, and she's made more of her hexagons for the Corey Dallas pattern blanket from EFA that she is using. And this is a good example of where the light you use or your camera or the screens just really give you an off color, because somebody else had the same thing. They had something that looked brown, and really it's a very deep type of purple. The color can be off in your screens. Next we have Allison from Ontario. Is Allison new, or maybe this is her second time? And she used this Serdar book called Best of Friends, 12 Outfits for Dolls and Teddies. And she has made the teddy dress, apron, and bow for an outfit for her Cabbage Patch doll. That is a first, I think. Then Tammy M., who is in Ontario, has made this washcloth. No information there. Looks more like a granny square. Then we have Judy Pine from Missouri. And Judy has made this beach granny wrap. And it's a pattern from Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Next, we have Debbie W. from California. She has made what looks to me like a basket, but she called it a basket cover. Not sure the difference. And this is her own design. Then Marie from Virginia has made this blanket that was a free pattern from Moogly or Tamara Kelly. Tamara. Different people say it different ways. We all know who Moogly is. Tina from Australia has once again made her 9-patch square with the butterfly motifs, and it is based on a YouTube tutorial from Pookie Doodle Crafts. I'm curious how big these 9-patch squares are, because I'm very curious as to how big this blanket is going to be in the end, Tina. Then Janet M. from California has made this peephole poncho, and it's a pattern from it's from a tutorial by Fiber Spider, and I don't think I've seen that pattern before. Diane K. in Wisconsin has made this big willow square, which is by Adore Crea Crochet. I believe she's on YouTube as well. And Lisa from Ontario has made this knitted woven cable headband, and it's by Priscilla Uloho. I'm sure I didn't say it right. And Debbie P. from Arizona has made this vagabond scarf, and it's a pattern by Purple Iguana. I think her name comes up again, and some of you may not know this, but Fiber Spider has done a lot of tutorials of Purple Iguana patterns. She gave him permission to do tutorials of her patterns because a lot of her patterns are free patterns. Vicki O. in Wisconsin has made this shawl, and she didn't give me any information about it. Sorry, people. Charmaine from Florida. Charmaine, I think, is new. And she has done this easy ripple shawl. It's an easy ripple stitch, or it's a wrap by Amanda Crochet. And Mary Ellen, who is in Ontario, has done this microwave cozy, and this is her own design. And Denise from Minnesota has done this granny headscarf, and she said there was no pattern for it. So again, it's her own design. Then we have Susan from New Jersey, and she has made this doily, and again, no information on if it's her own or if she used a pattern. And Cindy S. has made this Caribbean seashore scrunchie, and it's a pattern from MJ's Off the Hook. And Rebecca from Mississippi has done this granny stripe shawl, and it is from Annie Designs. And she's also made this wind spinner, and a bit of information I found interesting. By the way, the wind spinner has butterflies on it. I thought that was appropriate. She said she used Scrubology yarn, and although it's hard to work with, it is a good yarn for a wind spinner because that makes it waterproof. And I never really thought about that before. So those of you that are making wind spinners that you want to hang outside, that is a good tip. Then we have Heather from Nova Scotia, and this is her first time participating. And she made the Darla asymmetrical poncho, and it is a free pattern on Ravelry. Carmen from California made this spring chalette, and it's a pattern from Ophelia Talks, and that's YouTube tutorial. And she also did this hat, and it's called the Blurred Lines Beanie. And again, a YouTube tutorial, this time by Crystal at Bag O' Day. Lillian, who is in Ontario, has done this Light from Within, another pattern from C.J. Brady. I'm really happy to see so many of you make use of her one skein patterns. Her and Carmen Heffernan have many one skein patterns, and that's very, very helpful. Alessandra from California has made this llama. I believe she made both. The llama, which is from Pika Paw. I'm sure those of you into amigurumi are familiar with that name. And then she made the lavender dress and shoes to go on it. I don't know if those would be in the same book or she got those from somewhere else. Then Bonnie B. from Ontario has made another lapgan with butterflies in it for our donation box. And Donna from New York, she has made more squares, and I think you can tell from looking at the squares that this is eventually going to be a blanket for Boggy Creek. And maybe some of you don't know what Boggy Creek is. Boggy Creek is a camp for kids that have diseases that would keep them from normally going to camp. But this particular camp in Florida, and it's one of others around the country, they have nurses and doctors there on staff. For certain weeks, they have kids that all have the same disease, and they can feel like a normal kid for a week. I would say if you check out, there are 4 of them to check, well, 3 anyway. Nancy at She's Got Yarn Too, and Lynette at Charmed Granny, and Lynanne at Nina's Knots Crochet. They would all have videos on this topic. I think I will try to link something from one of their channels that would talk about Boggy Creek. I'll maybe link last Wednesday's video where they describe it all and they show opening the boxes of blankets. Sorry, I digressed. But as I was saying it, I remembered that there have been people that have asked that are not aware of what Boggy Creek is. And then, what is this Boggy Creek I hear you talking about? So I thought I would just do a quick intro on it. Then we have Graciela, who is in Florida. And she has made a honey ripple throw. And that's the pattern for our summer cowl that Cathy and I are doing, and the pattern is by Burgundy and Blush, and you're going to hear more about that in the coming weeks. Then Lillian from Singapore has made this, what I call a cocoon cardigan. It's called Capulo, Capullo, and it is a pattern from EFA, and she used yarn from EFA to make this. Then Tammy S. from Ontario has made, she's knitted this plain toque, which she says is her own design. Rosanna, also in Ontario, has made this granny stitch lapgan. She also does hers for donations. And Josephine from North Carolina has used an Annie's kit to make this lacy shells wrap. Barbara B. from Alberta, no, Barbara M. Don't want to get them mixed up. I didn't get anything from Barbara B. this month. Barbara M. from Alberta has made this twisted witch hat, which is by Stephanie Pokorny. Are you getting ready for Halloween already, Barbara? And she's also made this Falling Blossom shawl by Anna D. And that's a pattern that I have on my to-do list. Then Kimberly from Florida has made this cobweb shrug, and it's a free pattern from Hobie. Deb M. from Arizona has made this Emily scarf, another pattern from Purple Iguana. Then Robin from Ontario has made this Peachy Keen baby hat. And if I'm reading this correctly, the pattern is by Chloe Rip from True North Yarn Company. Christine from Kentucky has made an Agatha reading shawl. A number of people have made that shawl. And that's a pattern from Ophelia Talks. There is a tutorial there. Then Esther, and Esther is new as well. She didn't tell me where she's from, and I didn't have time to ask her where she was from. And she's made this Eleanor shawl, and it's a pattern by Juan the Yarn Addict, so he would have a tutorial on his channel. Then one last pattern, and this one is slightly different. This is from Cindy H. in Costa Rica, and you'll notice it is not purple. She had no purple, so she did the bonus. And I want to remind you, and I might even show a picture when I'm done showing Cindy's pattern of the monarch. She decided to use the bonus monarch butterfly and make this shawl. And remember, any one of you can use it once during the year. And I've had 2 or 3 other people use it earlier in the year. If you do not have the color for that month, then another option is to make this monarch butterfly once for an alternate during the year. So that brings us to the end of our slideshow. And I have to tell you, you surprise me. I'm figuring summer, especially the end of summer, people are busy with vacations, and now they're getting ready for kids to go back to school. And it just surprises me that once again, we had 43 people submit things, and a number of you submitted 2 items. So I'm just really, really pleased at the support that you give this monthly Mal when it's something that happens month after month and you keep doing it. It seems to be the one thing that is on your list every month to make sure you do. And I really do appreciate your support. Next, we are going to spin the wheel. So I'm going to get up here real close. I have to open this up. Okay. So here is the wheel. You can't read much on that wheel. They're so small. And I'm going to spin the wheel and wait for it to stop. There we go. And see what it says. Graciela. Congratulations, Graciela. As you know, I'm at a point where I'm not shipping, but you contact me, we'll have a little discussion, and I will give you a free pattern from Ravelry. I will need to know your Ravelry name and the pattern you want, so you're going to have to get in touch with me, and I'll see that you get a pattern. So congratulations and thanks for your participation, and thanks to all the other 42 people that participated in the monthly MAL. Now, what comes next? I know that you're always anxious to see the next month's butterfly. So that's what we have to do next. I am going to flash it up here on the screen, full screen, to give you a chance to do a screen grab. There you go. I think that was enough time to get a hold of that picture. So, don't let me forget the date. Maybe I'll do the date now while I'm thinking of it before I show my yarn. My yarn is right there. I'll get to it. The 30th of September is a Tuesday. So you're going to get a video on Tuesday and again on Thursday that week. And I'm thinking that once again, I'm going to stick with the 27th. If you can get your finished items to me by the 27th, then I have enough time to put together this video. It is a 2-day job to get this video made and out. It's a lot of work to doing this video. All right, so the 27th of September, like always, send me a picture of your finished item in that color. Tell me where you're from. Tell me the name of the pattern if you used a pattern and the designer. Now, I had originally pulled out way back these 2 yarns. Then I went back. When I was doing, remember I was doing yarn from across Ontario, and I was showing these, and I thought, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to use these. Now, they are a little brighter than the picture. I'll put the butterfly up here again. These are brighter, but it's still pink and dark blue. It's more navy. And I absolutely love these colors, and I've been wanting to think of something to make with these 2 colors. And you can see, I know you can see all that sparkle, and they are from Artfill, a Canadian dyer. So I will, I'll link them. I don't usually do that, but I will link them in the bottom in the description box. This is Sangria, and this is Midnight Kiss. You can tell I'm going to love working with these colors. I would love to have some suggestions. Do you have some ideas of things I could make? I'd probably like to make a shawl, an asymmetrical triangle, or a cowl. One of those 3 things. I can't imagine anything else. Two skeins of yarn, and they both have, oh, these are sport weight. Okay, so they have a little bit less. They have 310 yards. So 620, unless it's really lacy, that would count out a shawl. Don't think a shawl would work. An asymmetrical triangle or a really big, long, full cowl. But I would love to hear your opinions. I guess I could do a shawlette, you know, something that would be smaller around my neck, because I really love these colors, and I'm pretty sure if I find the right pattern and I like it, I will be keeping it for me, because you can imagine these are colors that I would love to wear. It would make a good one of these. But I don't think I want to do the same pattern I've already done before. So I'm open to ideas. I won't be getting this started for a few days at least, because I am working on another project that I need to get done, and I need to get it done this week so that I can move on and get to this. This will be my next thing. And as you know, I'm working on the blanket for the summer cow, and that's due really soon as well. So that's the butterfly. Now you know what you're doing for September, and I look forward to seeing what you guys make with these colors and hearing your suggestions of what I can make with this 610 yards. So that's pretty well it for today. I'll be back again on Thursday, my usual day, and it's the beginning of the month, and I neglected to say last Thursday that I will be doing a stash down, and it'll be interesting to see how much I actually have done, because it's not the 31st yet where I am. And I don't know if I'll get that September summer cow done by Sunday or not likely. But anyway, I'm so glad you were here. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow. I hope you like this new butterfly. Maybe you understand why I put that butterfly on for this month, because this is September coming up, and it's blue. Sapphire is the color for September in my book anyway. So have a great weekend, and we will see you later in the week. Until then, happy hooking.